welcome to the show on a bright and early Tuesday morning. You're here with me, Amaya, and of course I have Anupama co-hosting the show with me this morning.
After a long time. Good morning.
After a very long time. We haven't met each other.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering who this very handsome gent is, who is sitting on the sofa next to Anupama, well, he is Robert Van Allen, and he is a motivational speaker as well as someone who specializes in the genre of excellence. Anupama, do you have any idea what the genre of excellence is?
I would like to know. Well, we've had many motivational speakers on our show before. You remember that we had a lot of fun with many other inspirational people who came up with different ways of motivational speaking and different methods and different theories of their own. So today I think we are going to focus on an entirely different one, the genre of excellence.
And excellence is something that everyone strives for, and it's something that all of us would like to achieve in our lives, especially when it comes to the workplace, or whether it comes to how you interact with your colleagues, or how you can take your company further and really grow in many different ways.
In all aspects, I guess.
Exactly. So, Robert, on that note, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Show.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here as well. Now you're here in Sri Lanka to carry out this very special program. So before we start off about the program itself, let's hear something about yourself.
Well,
You're here from the States, all the way from the States.
Yeah.
What are you doing here in our tiny island of Sri Lanka?
Yeah, it was quite the journey to get here. Actually, I just flew in not long ago, and after I think about a 30-hour journey, I landed on this this great island, and I love it. I love the people here, and that's really what
Already.
Yeah, already. Yeah, already. And even from the airport and the airlines. I flew Sri Lankan Airlines, so
nice.
which is kind of a cool thing too. So,
Yeah.
but it's a country where there's an emerging market. There's a lot of changes going on. So there's I notice that people are ready to learn. They're ready to get to that next level, and that's really why I'm here, is to really share some disciplines that'll help people get to that next level.
Definitely. Now, before we again go into the program, you've done this type of training for many years now, over a decade. And tell us about the type of programs that you offer for the corporations that you train and the individuals that have come under you so far.
Well, I'm very, I like to say this, I'm very blessed. I've gotten an opportunity to work with celebrities, athletes, all sorts of...
Want to drop some names on I'd like to know. Would you like to know?
Well, yeah, it's funny because everybody always asks me that question, well, can you drop a name? But typically, no. I am not a name dropper because you just cannot be, but and CEOs too. And lately I've been working with a lot of female CEOs, which is really kind of cool to watch women grow in business and become leaders, in companies, global companies worldwide. But I do programs, executive coaching programs. I also do executive training programs at the C level, which is, the CEO, COO, CFO, whatever those guys whatever you want to call them. And they are now ladies and gentlemen, which is really great. And we also, I also do programs for mid-level management and even programs for communities too, because it really starts with the individual and then it works up from there. But it really, you're going to learn a little bit about what those programs are all about. And I've been doing this for 15 years. Time flies, but I'm having fun. I feel like I just got started, so it's really a good time right now to be here in Sri Lanka.
But you've developed yourself your own brand of training, is it?
I did. I spent 15 years of my career in the legal publishing business, information technology, global legal publishing, and there's quite the story. Started out as anybody started, at the bottom of the company, and found my way up pretty rapidly. Didn't know that was going to happen, but somebody saw me and what I was doing and mentored me. And it's a very special story. This gentleman was like 65 years old, and I'm 28, and he reaches out and he's like 3 levels above where I am. He goes, "I'm going to mentor you." And he did. He mentored me, and then I became a senior manager in that particular company. Went on to run companies for that company in other countries. And in a position called global reengineering of sales and marketing, where you go in, you make the changes. Sometimes you don't like that person when they're coming.
Yes, that's true. People like to be very complacent about where they are. They don't like
and please the boss.
Yeah, so my whole background was all about changing, developing change. And after that 15-year career, I decided I wanted to pursue my personal vision. And my vision was to go out there and inspire others and help others and teach others to help them be more successful, in their lives and in their profession, and that's what I chose to do.
That's brilliant. All right. And then you developed what's called the genre of excellence. Now, this is something that you specialize in, and this is something that you brought down to Sri Lanka as well as part of the program that you're going to carry out in a few days. But let's speak about that.
Yeah, just a few days. Yeah, we're bringing the genre of excellence. Actually, bringing two programs: the genre of excellence and Let's Orchestrate. But let's talk about the genre of excellence first, because what I really get into, and really the purpose of that, is to really help C-level executives understand how to get to that next level. How to take, what they have right now, because companies here have been doing pretty well. But there is, in order to compete and to really dominate your market, there's 4 things I'm going to get into. I'm going to get into engagement. How to really engage your employees where, they'll want to say all the right things, they'll stay longer, and they will strive more. And we call that discretionary effort. They want to give you more just because they're inspired by your message. They're inspired by your vision. Then we're going to move that one. We're going to go from there to the genre of excellence. Which is part of the program. So you go from engagement to genre of excellence and defining what is it that your organization is going to be recognized as excellent in years to come. If you think about, there's many global brands out there, and some of those brands we wear, like Nike, we all know Nike, we all know Apple and some of those global brands, and I will be talking about how those brands have defined their genre of excellence and why they are where they are and continue to just dominate in their marketplace. Then we're going to get into this topic called mastery. How do I really become an expert in what it is that I do? And so I will teach the process of building that mastery through mentorship, and then we bring it back to community. So it's a model that I've built, and I will be sharing that model with CEOs here. I'm very excited about it, and it's just that footprint and that blueprint for them to really be able to take their game to the next level and be able to inspire, excellence and dominate their markets for years to come, so that they can do one thing, and I like to say this, so that they can leave a legacy, which I think is very, very important.
That's amazing.
Speaking about mentorship, I'm just curious to know, is it important for a CEO or anybody of that level to be a mentor as much as to find a mentor in his life?
Both. You could be a coach by saying that. Literally, that is the right answer. CEOs need mentors, but CEOs need to also be mentors. And it's really hard, because when you're in that position, which I've been in that position a couple of times, when you're in that position, you want to stay in your office, look at the numbers. And it's all about performance, right? You just sit back and I don't want to talk to anybody. How do I get to know
Especially personally, a one-to-one mentorship is really important.
So you just delegate everything and then just sit back and look at all the reports.
Well, I'll tell you what, the CEOs, and I'm not going to get into all the answers today on your show, but you have to come to the program to get the answers.
That's important.
But CEOs really need to get out and really get to know their people.
That's true.
And there's a process and how to do that and how to understand why that's important. Every CEO that attends this conference will know how and why that's important. And I believe after they walk out of that conference, they'll make that part of their everyday roles in their jobs.
Wow, so that's because if you're a CEO or a CFO, you're at that C level, then you've already come up to a really great level as well. So maybe some of them are stagnant at that point, and they really don't know how they can move forward or make what's great even greater. So I think the program that you're offering is something then that will really help them step up their game and go to the next level. So this is happening on the 19th of March at the Cinnamon Grand Colombo, and this is an event that's something that all people who are at the C level, who are the corporates who are at the C level, should really look forward to participating in. But I should ask you about the international body that's bringing you down to do this program as well. Now, this is sponsored by?
This is sponsored by CIMA, which is the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. And they are really the world's largest management accounting body that's out there. I mean, literally 170 countries, over 200,000 students, members are part of this organization. organization, and they are growing. Because it's all about their certifications are really the only certification that's recognized around the world, and that's really important in management accounting. So, for example, you go to school and you get your accounting degree, your accounting certification. What do you do after that? How does that apply into a job, or, on a role? And that's where SEMA really comes in and steps in and helps you really understand how to apply what you've learned into into a career. So they help you with that career path.
And again, it's about improving yourself and making sure that you can be the best that you can be, and have the best to offer to the corporate sector once you go into a job, isn't it? Because do you find that many young people nowadays are not really aware about what it takes to make the cut in a corporate environment?
Oh, yes. I find that, young people, well, it really, and I think this will be great for your audience. It really starts with you as an individual first. Let's say there's no career, there's no job, and I don't really, I'm just trying to figure things out, and maybe I'm still in school as a student, right? And that particular point is at the point where you have to think about what is it, that you want to do? What is your vision? If there were no limitations that were out there, what would you want to accomplish in your life? And that's really what's important, the first aspect. And I will share this with you, and I know you're going to ask a question, so I'll jump there. I love music, so there is a second program I mentioned that's going to happen, and that's going to be for for managers and other people that that work in jobs, and they'll be able to come to that particular program, and it's called Let's Orchestrate, moving from managing to orchestrating.
And many people, we should say this to our viewers as well, because Robert here is a very accomplished jazz pianist, and you so like to incorporate that aspect as well into your programs.
Oh yes, I use music as an analogy, because if you look at when you go to see an orchestration or your favorite band or whatever, there's a lot of moving parts, but they all seem to work together, and there's three things that are really happening there, and I apply it to your personal life. I apply it also to your corporate life too, and that is melody, harmony, and rhythm. Right? You think about it, right? Three simple things. And in the Let's Orchestrate program, I'm going to talk about melody. And that melody is really you. And that's who you are as an individual, what you want to be. You're developing your personal brand. As an individual, company has its vision. And the key is, do those visions, do they align together? Do they come together? And that's really what's important for an individual as they choose what it is that they want to do, as they take their talents into an organization. Is it really aligned to the vision of the organization?
And that's very important, right? That you fit your personality into the personality of your organization. You make sure that you're doing the right work for the right people, right? Because it has to work for you at the end of the day. But now you've worked in the other countries in the region as well, such as India, so you know the type of demographic that's there in this particular region. What do you think is the outlook like for Sri Lanka, especially when it comes to the fact that we are in a developing stage right now? And what do you think about the sort of corporates and the environment that's here?
I think that Sri Lanka brings about just a very dynamic opportunity for corporates, and I'm learning about some of the pillars that Sri Lanka is really trying to build itself on, and I know one of those pillars is knowledge, and I think and I really do believe that it does start there. I think if Sri Lankans continue to embrace knowledge, and there's folks like myself that are willing to take those 30-hour flights to come over here and to help and to share. But it's really staying on course, because it's so easy to get off course. The other thing I think it's important is this: you have to take, especially if you're an individual, you have to take control of your own success.
That's true.
You have to. You can't sit back and say, okay, the company didn't train me, or the company didn't do this, or the company didn't do that. There's an opportunity, especially when there's change. I always say this: anytime that there's an adversity, that's a gift. There's a gift that's just been given, and right now this country is going through a lot of change through it, because it went through a lot of adversity. So there's a gift to propel and to move forward even to another level, and those that can see that and attach to that, I'll tell you what, will go a long way.
Definitely. All right. So, picking up all the pieces of the puzzle here and bring it all to you this morning. And just this program that Robert is doing is all about how you can make yourself better and really take your success to the next level, especially here in Sri Lanka. It's geared for the corporate sector here in Sri Lanka, happening on the 19th of March. We'll find out more details. Robert will be back with us right after the break. Stay with us on Good Morning Sri Lanka.